Check that out. Ain't that beautiful? When you guys see something like this, what is the first thought that comes to your mind? You know what? Hold that thought. I got a GoPro down there right now recording some underwater footage from the mighty Neshaminy Creek here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. This is where I am at today. And as you guys can see, there's a bunch of shiners swimming around. The water is clear and flowing good. I don't know about you guys, but when I come to a place like this, the first thing that I think about is, man, what a calm place. Solitude, calmness, tranquility, right? You kind of get away from the busy routine of the urban life. You come out here to do some fishing. When I see that the water is actually clear like this, and I can see the shiners right from above here, right? No saturation. This is usually a good sign that this is a healthy and clean ecosystem, a healthy and clean creek. But is it really like this? Looks sometimes can be deceiving. Hold that thought as you watch this video. The main objective for today is for extreme pool fishing to catch a few different species of fish from the Neshaminy Creek and see how exactly they are looking like nowadays. I am going to use an arsenal of Euro tackle lures. As always, I'm going to leave everything in the description of the video. I'm going to get started with the B Vibe over here. I got the Dark Rage on a 1/16 ounce soft lock tungsten jig size 4 hook, and I got some EPF swims with me as well. So you know what? Join me today on this adventure and let's check what is swimming and willing to bite here at the creek. Little slow pool over here does look really good. Oh, got a hit already. Oh yeah, definitely some fish around here. Look at that. You can make this up. We got ourselves a white crappie from the Neshaminy Creek. First species of the day. Let's wet our hands real quick. B Vibe Dark Rage all the way in there. Pomoxis annularis. It is usually around this time of the year that the crappie feed pretty aggressively, so I'm not really surprised to see a little white crappie from the Neshaminy Creek. They are not exactly the most common species around here, the Pomoxis annularis, but they are present in the creek, right? A lot of leaves are falling from the trees, as you guys can see, right? I don't know about you guys, but there's just something about dams that I really enjoy. That's why I'm getting started in this portion of the creek today. There is a little slow pool right over here around this area. As you guys can see, all the leaves are collecting over here. So I've been punching the B Vibe for starters right over there. Missed a little largemouth bass, then caught that crappie. And I think there are some other species around here as well. Perhaps something even bigger. Little slow pools like this, you just never know. I'm using the B Vibe right now, but if I switch to an EPF swim, boy, look at that, huh? I'm using the B Vibe to see if there's any of the bigger species around first, right? Little largemouth bass. Let's see how healthy this largemouth bass from the Neshaminy Creek is, okay? The white crappie had more dark black flatworms, right? But this one actually looks healthy enough. I'm gonna give it some more water. Let's take a few photos of this dude and release it. But as you guys can see, very healthy sample from the creek, huh? I could expect no less from the Neshaminy Creek, to tell you all the truth, you know? I live right around here, so these are actually my home waters. I know this creek extremely well. I fished it a lot over the years. We even did that whole Smalley Appreciation Day series in the past, if you guys recall, right? It was right over here at this spot. 2 species in less than 10 minutes, not too shabby. Let's keep on grinding here. Oh, fish on boy. Third species on the bee vibe turns out to be a tiny redbreast, native species to this creek and to the northeast. Actually, not only the northeast, right? So as you guys can see, looks like a pretty healthy sample. It's got a little injury right here below the operculum, right? But other than that, again, another very beautiful fish from the Neshaminy Creek. Fish from clear waters. All we have these very vibrant colors, as you guys can see, right? It is truly fascinating, regardless of size. Definitely a very, very nice and beautiful sample. Back it goes to the somewhat healthy waters of the Neshaminy Creek. I've decided to move a little bit away from the falls. Pause the fishing for a little bit because I have something very important to talk about. This is actually the main reason why I decided to come to my local Neshaminy Creek today and shoot this YouTube video, right? The local anglers probably already know what I am talking about. Some folks here probably have no idea. And I tell you what, even if you are not a local, this is good information that is going to benefit you in the long term, okay? So I've been fishing the local Neshaminy Creek over here for a long time. I actually live in the neighborhood, and every time I've come down here, you know, and I check the waters of this wonderful creek, right? Clear waters, beautiful environment. I have always thought of this place as extremely healthy. Every year, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, the wildlife agency of the state, comes over here at the Tyler State Park, a little bit north of here, and they stock this place with trout. Earlier this year, I caught a very healthy brown trout, the Salmotruta, right from over here. If you guys remember, I did a little live stream on that. So you guys can imagine how shocked I was when just a few days ago, the PA Fish and Boat Commission released a paper, a document, an announcement that I'm going to leave in the description of the video, pretty much saying that this place is contaminated. They actually placed an advisory of do not eat fish from the entire Neshaminy Creek Basin, right? Because they found this chemical in here, high concentrations of this chemical called PFOS, Perfluorooctane Sulfonate, which just so happens to be one of 2 contaminants of emerging concern for scientists out there, right? The other one being the PFOA, which should stand for perfluorooctanoid acid. And I mean, you guys probably have already guessed, right? Just by the names of these little thingies, they are not natural, right? 300 years ago, before we came to North America, they stole this land from the Native American. Well, anyways, right, long time ago, these chemicals were definitely not here. Just like polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, we created this chemical. So you could say that over the last decades or so, we have polluted this creek, right? Never judge a book by its cover. Just because it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, doesn't mean it is a duck. And that's why EPF always emphasizes on this YouTube channel, doesn't matter where you are around the country, if you want to take some fish back home for you to eat, make sure to always check your state's, right, fish consumption advisories and fish consumption guidelines before you do so. Because at the naked eye level, you can come over here, check the water, see all the minnows, all the fish, and think, wow, this is a very healthy, diverse ecosystem. I have taken trout and panfish from this creek to eat in the past. Very likely contaminated fish, right? We just don't know about those things. And the bad things about the PFOS and the PFOA is that they accumulate in your body, just like PCBs. It is crazy. You consume these things, right? You eat the contaminated fish, and these chemicals, they don't leave your body. As a matter of fact, they tend to accumulate in your liver, in your kidneys, and even in your blood serum. And what do you think happens when you consume these things in the long term? A lot of it, right? Well, you may get symptoms of toxicity, right? You may get some systemic symptoms, some reproductive symptoms, and maybe if you're a kid or a teenager, maybe even some developmental symptoms, right? Which would definitely suck. So anyways, I took 5 minutes to explain to you guys what is going on around here. This is mainly a message for the locals, but it is beneficial for everyone watching this YouTube channel, right? Do not eat fish from the Neshaminy Creek, and doesn't matter where you are around the country. Even if you look super clean, your local bodies of water, always make sure to check your state's, okay, fish consumption guidelines and fish consumption advisories before you do it. All right, I promise you all that these were 5 minutes of your time that definitely do not go wasted. Let's go back to fishing. We are at 3 species so far. I'm not going to stop the fishing here just because I can't eat it. Doesn't mean that I can't do some good old catch and release. Maybe there is even some trout around here, right? We will see. Stay tuned. This stuff is quite ironic, isn't it? I just told everyone that you're not supposed to eat fish from the creek. Someone be doing catch and cooks out here, man. Probably cooking the fish from the creek right over here. Well, now you know. Now you know. You're not supposed to eat it, okay? PFOS. It is contaminated, or so they say. Well, going back to the falls, that seems to be the juicy spot. I was running the B vibe, right? Now I switched to my signature EPF is swim. We're going to find out, man, what else is lying or swimming down there. Wind kind of pushed the white foam a little bit to the right side, but there still should be some fish around here. So, oh yeah, boy. Oh yeah, there's fish around here. I'll give it that. Oh, we've caught this species already though. It still feels great on the ultralight. I'll give you that. EPF swim never disappoints. Got a little largemouth bass. We haven't really caught this molly today yet, huh? Wow, chunky, little chunky one too. All right. Here, my little fella. Here, my little fella. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought there was only one crappie. And this one actually is a black crappie. Oh, let me wet my hands real quick here, son. It's a black crappie. Oh yes, we got the white and we got the black. Pomoxis nigromaculatus. Fun fact of the day, this is actually one of my favorite species of fish to eat. And well, not that I can eat from this creek anyways, right? Ay, little fella, go back where you belong, to your brother, the white crappie. Yeah, let's go back to fishing. That's the thing about being a life lister, multi-species angler. You cast everywhere. Even if it is just one tiny pool over here, or like a ditch, or like a little puddle of water, you just never know what is going to be in it, right? And that's how we found this school of fish right here in this pool. I knew from the moment that I saw the shiners right here in the creek, man, that this was going to be gold. Oh yeah, boy. Oh yeah, son. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Damn! Damn, son! That's very likely the biggest white crappie that I have ever caught from the Neshaminy Creek. I kid you all now, look at that. That's wow, man. There's just a population of crappie here feeding on the little minnows, you know? Why right at this little pool? This is unbelievable. And it's not very common to find white crappie around my area. That's fascinating, isn't it? A little bit bigger than that, like I said, eating size, you know? But you can't, it's all contaminated. Ah, the irony, the irony. All right, this is going to be the last cast towards the bridge. Last cast! Well, if you think about it, this situation is kind of bittersweet, isn't it? I think I got a leaf. That wasn't a fish. Bittersweet because, well, I really like the idea that this place used to be stocked with trout, right? So I really enjoyed coming here and trying to find some trout. Now they're not going to stock it with trout anymore, but it is kind of sweet in a sense that it could be much, much worse, right? At least the whole Neshaminy Creek is still open for people to fish, just that catch and release is highly encouraged. And when it comes to the different species of fish in this creek, well, it's not like the fish are dying from the PFOS, right? I mean, only God knows what are going to be the long-term consequences, right? If they are already not suffering from long-term symptoms from this contaminant, hopefully it is not going to mess up their reproductive systems and things like that. But at the same time, I do hope that the wildlife agencies and the different government agencies are going to do something about it now that they found out about the stuff, right? Today we're finishing up with a good number of species. You know, the highlight of the day was definitely that white crappie, the Pomoxis annularis. That was like one of the biggest ones that I've caught from the Neshaminy Creek. Now let me tell you all, the bottom line of this video, right? I mean, the fishing was really just the bonus. I really wanted to just bring this video, especially for my local subscribers, so that everyone knows to not eat fish from the Neshaminy Creek right now, right? Or until only God knows when in the future. It is always important, I would like to emphasize, to follow the fish consumption guidelines and the fish consumption advisories for your states, right? I'm definitely not against people taking fish back home to eat. I encourage, right, as far as people practice selective harvest. But nowadays, you know, 21st century, you do need to worry about heavy metals, PCBs, pesticides, right? Now these contaminants, PFOS, PFOA, I mean, what else is going to be out there in the future, right? We need to watch out for all the stuff so that we stay healthy. And lastly, I heard that the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission was looking for locations to stock trout, since they're no longer going to stock the Neshaminy Creek in the future, right? I tell you what, I don't know if the locals are going to agree with me on this or not. Why don't they bring back the fall stockings, at least, on the Wissahickon Creek? You know, now for Philadelphia County, right, and surroundings, creek-wise, we only got the pennypack for fall stockings. Back in the days, at least we had two, right? Now everyone from Bucks County, Montgomery County, some people even from Chester come over to Philadelphia County just to fish the pennypack, right? So maybe I'll send them an email and just kind of let them know, like, man, please bring back the fall trout stockings, right, at the Wissahickon Creek, right? We all pay for the trout stamp, you know what I'm saying? But all right, this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something, you know, from this video. I spent 5 minutes just talking about the contaminants, right? That is like an educational bit for you guys. All right, fellas, stylines. I'll see you all next time, hopefully with some hot trout action. Stay tuned.